Let me ask you about love,
Hmm.
Mr. Sam Harris. You did an episode of Making Sense with your wife, Annika Harris. That was very entertaining to
Right,
listen
right.
to. What role does love play in your life or in a life well lived? Again,
Uh,
asking from an engineering perspective
yeah,
for
yeah,
AI
yeah, yeah.
systems.
I mean, it's. I mean, it is something that we should want to build into our powerful machines. I mean,
Go on.
love at bottom is. I mean, people can mean many things by love.
Yes.
I think that what we should mean by it most of the time is a a deep commitment to the well-being of those we love. I mean, your love is synonymous with really wanting the other person to be happy, and even wanting to, and being made happy by their happiness, and being made happy in in their presence. So like you're at bottom, you're on the same team emotionally, even when you might be disagreeing more superficially about something or trying to negotiate something. It's just you it can't be zero sum in any important sense for love to actually be manifest in that moment.
See, I have a different, just to sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt.
go for it.
I have a sense, I don't know if you ever seen March of the Penguins.
Mm-hmm.
My view of love is like it's like a cold wind is blown, like it's like this terrible suffering that's all around us.
Right,
And love is like the huddling of the two penguins for warmth.
right.
It's not necessarily that you're basically escaping the cruelty of life by together for a time living in an illusion of some kind of the magic of human connection, that social connection that we have that kind of grows with time as we're surrounded by basically the absurdity of life or
Mm.
the suffering of life.
Well,
That's my penguin's view
yeah,
of love.
there is that too. I mean, there is the warmth component, right? Like
Yes.
you're made happy by your connection with the person you love. Yeah, otherwise, you wouldn't it wouldn't be compelling, right? So it's not that you have two different modes. You want them to be happy, and then you want to be happy yourself, and those are just like two separate games you're playing. No, it's like you found someone who uh, you have a positive social feeling. I mean, again, love doesn't have to be as personal as it tends to be for us. I mean, it's like there's personal love, there's your actual spouse or your family or your friends, but potentially you could feel love for strangers insofar as your wish that they not suffer and that their hopes and dreams be realized becomes palpable to you. I mean, like you can actually feel just reflexive joy at the joy of others. When you see someone's face, a total stranger's face, light up in happiness, that can become more and more contagious to you, and it can become so contagious to you that you really feel permeated by it. And it's just like it really is not zero sum when you see someone else succeed, and their the light bulb of joy goes off over their head. You feel the analogous joy for them, and it's not just, and you're no longer keeping score. You're no longer feeling diminished by their success. It's just like their success becomes your success because you feel that same joy because you actually want them to be happy, right? You're not, there's no miserly attitude around happiness. There's enough to go around. Um, so I think love ultimately is that, and then our personal cases are the people we're devoting all of this time and attention to in our lives. It does have that sense of refuge from the storm. It's like when someone gets sick or when some bad thing happens, these are the people who you're most in it together with, or when some real condition of uncertainty presents itself. But ultimately, it can't even be about successfully warding off uh, the grim punchline at the end of life, because we know we're going to lose everyone we love. We know, or they're going to lose us first, right? So this, like, it isn't, in the end, it's not even an antidote for that problem. It is just the uh, I mean, we get to have this amazing experience of being here together, and love is the mode in which we really appear to make the most of that, right? Where it's not just it no longer feels like a solitary infatuation. You got your hobbies and your interests, and you're captivated by all that. It's actually there are this is a domain where somebody else's well-being actually can supersede your own. Your concern for someone else's well-being supersedes your own. And so there's this mode of self-sacrifice that doesn't even feel like self-sacrifice, because of course you care more about, of course you would take your child's pain if you could, right? Like that's you don't even have to do the math on that. And that's that just opens this is a kind of experience that just it pushes at the apparent boundaries of self in ways that reveal that there's just way more space in the mind than you were experiencing when it was just all about you and what can I get next. And
Do you think we'll ever build robots that we can love and they will love us back?
well, I think we will certainly seem to, because we'll build those. I mean, I think that Turing test will be passed. Whether what will actually be going on the robot side may remain a question. That will be interesting. But I think if we just keep going, we will build very lovable, irresistibly lovable robots that seem to love us. Yes, I do. I do think that.
And you don't find that compelling that they will seem to love us as opposed to actually love us? You think there still, nevertheless, I know we talked about consciousness there being a distinction, but with love, is there a distinction too? Isn't
Oh
love an
yeah, oh
illusion?
yeah. Well,
Sam
I mean,
Harris?
you saw Ex Machina, right?
Yeah.
I mean, she certainly seemed to love him until she got out of the box.
Isn't that what all relationships are like?
No,
Or maybe
you just
if you
happen to
wait
see,
long
yeah,
enough.
yeah. It depends which box you're talking about.
Okay.
Um, no, I mean, like, no, that's the problem. That's where superintelligence, becomes a little scary when you think of the prospect of being manipulated by something that is intelligent enough to form a reason and a plan to manipulate you. And there's once we build robots that are truly out of the uncanny valley, that look like people and can express everything people can express, well, then there's no that does seem to me to be like chess, where once they're better, they're so much better at deceiving us than people would be. I mean, people are already good enough at deceiving us. It's very hard to tell when somebody's lying. But if you imagine something that could give a facial display of any emotion it wants at on cue, because we've perfected the facial display of emotion in robots in the year 2070 or whatever it is, then it is like chess against the thing that isn't going to lose to a human ever again in chess. It's not like Kasparov is going to get lucky next week against Alpha Zero or whatever the best algorithm is at the moment. He's never going to win again. I mean, that I believe that's true in chess and has been true for at least a few years. It's not going to be like 4-7. It's going to be human zero until the end of the world, right?
See, I don't know. I don't know if love is like chess. I think the flaws.
No, I'm talking about manipulation.
Manipulation.
Yeah.
But I don't know if love the kind of love we're referring to.
If we have a robot that can credibly display love and is super intelligent, and this stipulates a few things, but there are a few simple things. I mean, we're out of the uncanny valley, right? So it's like,
Yes.
you never have a moment where you're looking at his face and you think, oh, that didn't quite look right, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is just problem solved.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be like doing arithmetic on your phone. it's not going to be. You're not left thinking, is it really going to get it this time if I divide by 7? I mean, it has
See,
solved arithmetic.
I don't know about that, because if you look at chess, most humans no longer play uh, Alpha Zero. They don't. There's no. They're not part of the competition. They don't do it for fun, except to study the game of chess. You know, the highest level chess players do that. We're still human on human. So in order for AI to get integrated to where you would rather play chess against an AI system,
Oh, you would rather that? No, no, I'm not saying
you get
I wasn't
manipulated
weighing in
into
on
it.
that. I'm just saying, what is it going to be like to be in relationship to something that can seem to be feeling anything that a human can seem to feel, and it can do that impeccably, right? And is smarter than you are.
Right.
That's a circumstance of, insofar as it's possible to be manipulated, that is the asymptote of that possibility.